So while she's in a nursing home, he's renovating my mom's house. Now, here's where it gets interesting. See, I had told my mother just not even a month prior to that. I said, now, Mom, I know you got money in that closet. You need to take that money and you need to go to the bank with it and put it in the bank. Oh, I can't do that. I said, Mom, I know you survived the Depression, honey, but you can't leave money like that laying out. You've got to put it in the bank. And once again, Mom totally ignores her son and leaves the money in the closet. Now, so here comes Jerry and his sons and all the other to come over here and renovate my mother's house. And of course, they find all that money in that closet. $2.5 million worth of money. And that's just an estimate. It might be more than that. But for sure, at least $2.5 million. All right. Now, this is in addition to the various lawn equipment and guns and whatever else they took. All right. And so when I finally get Mom out of the nursing home, which I did, I get her out of the nursing home. I get her back home. She calls right down here, Crane Creek Road, calls him on the phone and says, give me my money back. And now this is on speakerphone, and there was a whole room full of people hurting. Said, I'm not giving your money back, not giving you anything back, not giving your lawn equipment back, not giving back your guns, not giving you back nothing. I'm like, wow. And once again, she did not challenge him at all. Didn't question it. It's like she's a totally different person when these get around her. She's like a totally different person. And she didn't even question it at all. She just hung up the phone. I'm like, ain't you gonna call the police? Ain't you gonna, I mean, he just admitted to stealing your shit. Ain't you gonna call the police? No, she isn't. She ain't gonna do shit. She ain't gonna do a damn thing. Now, in the meantime, he gets this attorney by the name of the same that stood there like a damn asshole and watched me get dragged off to jail over a fucking kid in North Dakota that wasn't even mine. Was representing me in family court and literally stood there stone-faced and allowed that judge to drag me off to jail over a kid that wasn't even fucking mine. She didn't call for, she could have called for a second DNA test and cleared my name, but she didn't do it because the fix was in. The fix was in. I didn't know it, but the fix was in. And that same appear in court when I'm trying to get guardianship of my mother. Oh, but that's just coincidence, right, guys? That's just coincidence? Huh? Don't shout me down when I'm preaching good. Huh? That's just a coincidence? I think not. But anyway. And of course I got weeping eye. No, I'm not crying, trolls. I just got weeping eye. My eyes tend to water sometimes. I don't know why. They just do. Anyway. So, yeah. So, he gets this. He illegally obtains POA over my mother. A POA that we had removed him from 3 times. Literally. We literally removed him from the POA 3 times. And he went and got to get him put back on again. And then as soon as he gets that POA, he makes a beeline for her bank, First National Bank, and cleans out her checking, her savings, and safety deposit box. Cleans it all out. Now we are estimating that he got close to $3.5 to $4 million out of her bank account. All right. Now, what was the situation led up to that? Well, it just so happened something spoke to me. The gods, obviously. That's who it was. But something spoke to me. He said, go get her checking account record from the bank and go look at it. Her bank statement. I go look at her bank statement. Here's all these fucking little numbers down at the bottom of the paper. And I'm like, that ain't right. That ain't on my bank account. So I put one of them numbers in a fucking Google search. It was a bank account. They were literally siphoning money out of her fucking account illegally. And it was in small amounts, so the bank never caught it. So when I approached the bank manager with this shit, her eyes got big as saucers. She said, Mr. VonHelton, that will never happen again. And you know what? It wasn't. They corrected that shit right now. 13 accounts were attached to my mother's account, and they were siphoning money off little by little by little. But I'm sure that's just coincidence, right, guys? Right? So, in any event, I don't know where Butterfly goes. I said Butterfly, just sit tight. I'll let you in here in a minute. But anyways, the point is that this shit, he's been manipulating my mother against me for years, going all the way back to Ohio. He is responsible for me being in debt. He is responsible for the destruction of my first marriage. Now, admittedly, some of this stuff is hard to prove. I give you that. But I can actually go back now and look and see where he manipulated her. And when I seen how easy it was for him to convince her to do shit against her will, that was what was so fucking scary. Because he had almost godlike power over her to get her to do anything he wanted her to do. And I mean anything. I mean, he got her to kick my wife off the property and her not even breaking the law. That should scare the shit out of anybody. When you got that kind of power that you can manipulate somebody like that, that's pretty fucking scary. And apparently he can manipulate everybody else, because do you see a cruiser down there arresting his ass for stealing money out of my mom's house? No, you don't, do you? So he's either paid people off, or he's got some kind of manipulation to where he can manipulate people to do his will. And I heard through the grapevine by numerous sources that he wasn't even himself one time on stage when he was playing the bass guitar on stage. He literally came out of himself and became something else. Nobody wanted to elaborate on that, though. Gee, I wonder why. What did he become? What did he do on that stage? Well, inquiring minds want to know. Anyway, and the irony is that these Christians down here, so-called, oh, well, Von's a filthy evil pagan, therefore he must be aligned with demons. No, I think I know who's aligned with the demons, and it sure as fuck ain't me. Sure as fuck ain't me. But anyway, let's move on down the line here, because we got more to talk about. Like I said, I'll let y'all in here in a minute, but I got some things to say first. My point is that this has gone too far. It's gone way too far. But what makes me mad, what makes me angry, is that he is working in collusion with these trolls on the internet, and has been for years. They're all talking to each other on Facebook. Ain't that right, secular opinion? Ain't that right, secular opinion? Yeah, you all talking to the Frosts and the trolls and haters, all talking to one another. They all best buddies because they all got a mutual benefit. Let's destroy VonHelton's family. That works out to everybody's benefit. Doesn't it, trolls? Yes, it does. We're going to destroy VonHelton and his family. And we're going to destroy his finances, which they sure as fuck did. Now, you say, well, Von, why are you so upset? I'm going to tell you why I'm so upset. I was going to sue the shit out of these motherfuckers. I was going to sue the state of Kentucky. I was going to sue CPS. I was going to sue my attorneys, and I was going to sue the judge. I was going to sue all these motherfuckers. So I go online, and guess what I find? You can't sue none of these motherfuckers. They're all exempt. They're literally above the law. You can't sue them. In fact, you can't even sue the state of Kentucky. What you have to do is you have to get what they call a grievance of some kind. You have to file a grievance. Well, what the fuck is that? That's just something they can rip up and throw in the trash, right? Yeah. File a grievance, that ain't going to go nowhere. It's not going to go anywhere. So I'm like, well, shit, I'll contact all kinds of various organizations. I'll contact the ACLU and ACLJ. Well, you go online, And the first thing you see when you put ACLU in there is that they don't handle individual cases. They handle groups. They don't even handle individuals. ACLJ is the same way. They don't handle individual cases. So that I can't go there to get any type of help. They won't help you. You got to be a group or an LLC or something of that nature. You can't be an individual. No wonder these trolls are laughing. I'd be laughing too if I knew that you couldn't even fucking defend yourself against a tyrannical government that steals your fucking kids whenever they goddamn feel like it. And my feckless lawyer who sits on his ass, CPS literally lying in a court of law, and he doesn't even holler objection. He doesn't even declare a mistrial or call for an extension or nothing. Yeah, he didn't. He just sat on his ass. That's what you get when you get a rental lawyer anyway, by the way. They're not really there to defend you. They're there to represent you, but they're not there to defend you. Well, hell, all I got to do is stand there to represent you, right? I don't have to do shit. I can just stand there, and I'm representing you. Because representing you and defending you are two totally different things, isn't it, right? Yeah, two totally different things. I can represent you by simply standing in that courtroom and keeping my fucking mouth shut. And I'm still representing you. But defending you is when I say, hey, objection, these motherfuckers are lying in this courtroom. Because they said they went out on this, their documents say that his kids have bugs in the head when they didn't. So they took the kids on a false premise. But we have a word for that too. It's called criminal trespassing, felony kidnapping. And then when you add the 4 police officers that threatened me with bodily harm, that's criminal trespassing. But isn't it wonderful when you go on the damned internet and find out you can't sue none of these motherfuckers. They're exempt. They're literally above the law. So I call Rand Paul's office. You know, the Rand Paul that's supposed to represent me in Washington, D.C., we're not going to do anything. We're not going to do shit. I said, now, wait a minute. You represent the state of Kentucky. You can't do nothing about this shit? You can't do nothing about an out-of-control government body here in the state of Kentucky called Child Protective Services, which is literally going into homes and stealing my damn kids out of my home for stupid shit like a spot of mustard on a damn t-shirt? But you can't do nothing to stop that? You can't do nothing to rein in a corrupt government entity? Well, apparently not. Because Rand Paul's office tells me bluntly, we're not going to do shit. I mean, they didn't word it that way. They were polite about it. But I can politely tell you to go kiss your ass, right?